Willkommen everyone! I'm Ray, and today we are going to take a look at the next two chapters of Anti-Entropy visual novel. I can't wait. And I just want to take this moment for a second and really want to thank you guys. I really did not imagine that so many of you are interested in seeing me read all of that, but I'm positively surprised, and this is really amazing. It's so much fun, experiencing it, but even more so that I can experience it with you guys, and that we are all just one excited blob. And yeah, with that said, if you like this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Would really make my day. And without further ado, let's get straight into it. Where did we last left off? I think we met Aida? And that became his mission to take responsibility for her. I think that was what Eins said. So, let's take a look, shall we? In the 4 weeks beginning from now, the lab assistant named Welt will be bearing a heavy responsibility. Lab 42 is now on a quasi-holiday because the supercomputer Ada has been shackled with a computationally heavy task, which means Welt needs to organize recreational activities for the two doctors every day for the entire period. Although one of the doctors proclaims that just because we're on vacation doesn't mean we don't need to work some days. Given the personality of the other doctor, it seems difficult to say for certain what the workload is going to be like for Welt. Especially given that just a few hours earlier, his own foolhardy behavior had caused her to blow a fuse. The wall clock silently ticks past 11 o'clock. Despite knowing that the community safety in this neighborhood is one of the best in Britain, Welt remains uneasy, and since he has trouble sleeping anyway, chooses to stay up all night in the lobby. Staying up all night is hard. It kind of gets harder when you're getting older, don't you agree? I mean, I can only stay awake long when I'm drawing or just really into something, but just doing nothing, I could not do it. No, I couldn't. Okay. On the other hand, Einstein, who seems accustomed to our roommate's late night adventures, had already gone upstairs to rest an hour ago. If not for the various sounds of falling debris in the garbage chute occurring from time to time, it sounds like someone— wait, what? Oh, if not for the various sounds of falling debris in the garbage chute occurring from time to time. That's one sentence. It sounds like someone's taking this opportunity to finally clean up the house. After drinking his 7th cup of black tea, the Catcher in the Rye in his hand has already been flipped to its last page. The silly protagonist of the book had an amusing temperament, and this reminded him of Don Quixote. I hope that's how you pronounce it. I totally forgot. He had read last year. Ah, speaking of which, just now he had received a letter, and it was a very strange letter indeed. Oh? I have no idea who that is, but I love it. I mean, isn't that Otto, but as a vampire? Is it wrong? He really looks like it. And it really looks captivating. I love those green eyes so much. Oh! Omega, when you do receive this letter, it should already be around the 31st. Happy Halloween! So is the one who was writing him all the time Otto? I'm not wrong and have just completely forgotten a character that looks like this, right? And that's one amazing Halloween costume, gotta say. I heard that because a certain overseer pays special attention to this festival, I've had to make grand arrangements at headquarters every year. Yes, The attached photo shows the state of my preparations this year. By the way, something else to celebrate. Starting this month, my lab staff has been reduced to just me alone. So as you can see, even when taking a team photo, I can only take one of myself. So is that in a time where Otto wasn't overseer? Or am I just completely wrong to assume that he's Otto? This confused me now. But it could very well be that he was not yet. But I think he was really long. Huh. I haven't heard from you recently. Is it because of the new opportunities that have rekindled your passion for life? I've heard you guys have been traveling back and forth between the Atlantic Ocean and have been having a great time. However, the North American branch has always been rated poorly by headquarters. If they happen to cause some sort of trouble amongst themselves, or be at loggerheads with each other, you mustn't blindly participate. I've heard that still water runs deep, and things can get rather treacherous. But I'm also being stupid. When gods fight, what does it matter to mere mortals like you and me? Best not talk about it anymore. Now I don't know what the weather is like in London, but the moonlight in Vienna today is indeed hard to come by. I will thus borrow the power of alcohol to guide us in a casual chat about some things we cannot usually talk about. Well, it's a letter, so just let me talk and you can just listen. Don't take any of this too seriously. This is really interesting. With the music, it's perfect. I know that you're a person who likes reading, but have you ever thought about what has caused us human beings in our struggle against the Honkai to be repeatedly thwarted, to suffer loss after loss? After all, what flaws make us vulnerable to constant forestalling by the Honkai, to the point that we are close to complete surrender, too tired to cope anymore? In other words, why do we always repeat the same mistakes? Interesting. It is true that throughout human history, we have been steadily progressing, and this trend of progress will unlikely be obstructed by any trivial event or matter. But what I've been seeing more are those pioneers who stand on the crest of the wave, isolated and cut off from help, battered and bruised, caught between a rock and a hard place. Sometimes they may even lose, defeated and embarrassed by their own human foibles. Spiritually, they may be giants, but sometimes, physically or materially, they are weaklings. Their spiritual strength often takes a long time to be passed down to later generations, before they are eventually recognized as cherished paragons. Huh. Oh, well, that is one long letter. Earlier, I told you the story of St. Cullen. However, what I want to say today is, despite her strong force of character, nature instead granted her the body of an ordinary girl. Although the bloodline of Kaslana is definitely nothing ordinary, but that won't make much difference to what I'm about to say here. A body so weak and frail, one so minuscule and insignificant that even the common folk can sentence her to death, so that even a lonely Honkai beast can take her life with ease. Doesn't this make absolutely no sense? The world we live in, it does not follow logic at all, and it does not respect the principle of equivalent exchange. I will never forget what Cullen experienced during her brief time. I am convinced that, for us humans, the greatest enemy is not the Honkai at all, but ourselves. I'm still pondering if this is Otto. It has to be. It really has to be. Unless it's someone completely new, but it has to be, because I will never forget what Cullen experienced, so he was there. So it is Otto. And let's stick with this one. Let's say it is Otto. Because, like, it is difficult to agree with him because of many things he has done. But I do still agree that humans' greatest enemy are humans. Like, I agree. Because, well, anyway, let's move on. Oh, I thought he was getting to an end with this letter. We are too weak, So weak that our heroes are always powerless to save everyone. We are too weak. So weak that some of us would even doubt the motives of our heroes. We are too weak. So weak that we will sacrifice true justice for a small, immediate gain. We are too weak. So weak that we can only negotiate short-term peace amidst mutual conflict. And that we have to resort to official, pompous-sounding words like social order and ethics to cover up our despicable motives. The saint. She is a saint because, despite being as fragile as us, she is very different from us. For she is one, just the one, the only one, who does not fear her vulnerability. This kind of bravery, emanating from her heart, is like the sun to us ordinary folk. Something we can all see, but clearly never attain. At least compared to her, I am a complete coward. Every one of us, harboring this original sin called fear, trepidly seeks the answers to life's questions. The sand would never deride or jeer at us, but every time I realize we are living like this, I wish that I could kill myself with a single blow. But imagine, if each of us really has a chance to rid ourselves of this fragility, if we can uproot this fear, this thought of I am fragile, deeply rooted within our hearts, then we can create a new culture at that moment. One that is full of forgiveness, full of self-confidence, and full of vigor. And then, this so-called Honkai, won't it then dwindle to something so small, so insignificant as to be unworthy of further mention? Such a world would protect its own saints. Such a world is more worthy of protection from its saints. Oh, this is interesting. He kind of just developed this view, right? Because no one protected Cullen, right? But she always wanted to protect, and he wants a world where Cullen is protected. I mean, that's what I'm thinking, okay? Just theorizing. No real questions. Do not want answers. If there's ever a chance that Cullen is able to shine upon this world stage again, then, this time, she will not struggle to progress because of her own meagerness. I haven't tasted red wine for a long time, but I have really been drinking quite a bit today. In your opinion, this letter may be pure, unintelligible, incoherent rambling, but this doesn't matter. Before, I had been talking to you as a member of the organization. Today, let me be an ordinary researcher, and let me have a casual, self-opinionated rant for once. I don't think the kind of world I have just imagined can be realized. But it doesn't matter. We still have a lot to do, don't we? Your old friend who has been acting a little strange today. Clown Alpha. Oh, 1955. Okay. So, 1970 something was the moment where he created Theresa. So, was he only then overseer? Or is he just acting that way because he does not want Welt to know that he is the overseer? Anyway, that is definitely Otto. And he has way too much wine. But that's totally fine, because otherwise we would not have this interesting letter. Like, I mean, I kind of would want to just tear apart every little word and see what I can think about it, but that would take way too long. The hour hand on the wall clock has moved 60 degrees, and it is already early morning of the next day. Welt silently refills his 8th cup of black tea. Click. Yes, exactly this one. Oh? At last, outside the door, there is that familiar sound unique to drunkards. The sound of a prodding key from one who cannot, for the life of them, find the keyhole to the lock. Well, that never happened to me. What about you guys? Oh my, oh. Ah, you little suck. Not asleep, I see. drifting footsteps, breath full of alcohol. There's no doubt this woman has already drunk more than enough. Yes, do you want to go upstairs? Thinking back to Mophead's advice, the young man decides to deal with the situation with an ordinary, calm mindset. Upstairs? Nah. The red-haired woman with half-loosened twin tails waved both hands dismissively. You come talk to me. Me? None of that nonsense. If not you, who else is there, Oh, the clearly sober adult seizes the opportunity to flop down and sprawl all over the small sofa beside him. You haven't heard of it anyway, have you? Haven't heard? Haven't heard of what? You're being wordy today, aren't you? Are you a visiting member from the House of Commons? If you haven't heard of it, then you haven't heard of it, Okay, this old girl's gonna use this rare occasion to explain it to you. So you better wash your ears and listen like the good little Zeshak. You are, okay? The red-haired drunkard continues to ramble incessantly, while she scornfully flings her coat over the back of the sofa. You know, this old girl's name is Nicola. It just happens to be a girl's name as well, so I use it like that. However, on the passport... Speaking of it now, I feel a bit embarrassed. Are you trying to say that Nicola is a pseudonym? Actually, no. It's not a pseudonym. Frederica Nikola Tesla. That's my full name. Really, it sounds like a name for a German sow. Isn't that a rather cute name? Dissatisfied, the drunkard shifts her posture and crosses her legs together. I knew you men would speak like that. A unisex name like Nicola and you men immediately lose interest, aren't I right? It really isn't like that. I've had enough of a life that treats me as a simple, ordinary girl. The drunkard's speech suddenly speeds up dramatically. The whole thing's so stupid, I think I might just die from this stupid. How can human personality be defined by such boring things as gender and race? I agree. Have their brains been soaked with formalin? But indeed, unfortunately, the vast majority of people in the world can only confine themselves in these little cocoons, planning their lives around senseless labels. I agree. I agree. I don't like labels. As soon as someone steps out of these black and white rules, they become inexplicably angry and get all right up, as if their lives were completely ruined. These people probably forget that these various identities within us are all just fabricated values created by humans to organize society into an orderly state. Everything that does not exist in the natural world is nothing more than personal assumption, nothing more than human fabrication. Fabrication. Schicksal is fabricated. Britain is fabricated. Driving on the left is fabricated. Even the toilet being divided into ladies and gents, that too is fabricated. That is just like, I already had a letter that was really, really hard to read. Why are you going to do this to me as well? It's Schwinny. I'm speaking too much at once. It's almost like I'm stuffing a goose. Guess I'm Nikola Tesla with a doctorate in post-alcohol verbosity. The redhead half rises from her seat, snatches the black tea in front of the young man, and without any warning drinks it down in one gulp. All of you call me a doctor, but I haven't even graduated yet, have I? Oh, interesting, huh? Are you so surprised? It's not uncommon for people to defer or leave school for various reasons. But aren't you doing research here? Ah, this is different. Tesla shrugs languidly. Professor Planck is purely theoretical with her work. With my current research, I can't graduate under her supervision. Especially Einstein, that bitch. Recently she's only willing to let me run virtual tests on Ada. Only because I'd blown up the bedroom once or twice before. Isn't that a bit excessive? Oh, do you know who Ada is? if we're talking about Ada, I just met her today. Looks like you've already analyzed the stuff in the toy. No, looks like it'll take at least 4 weeks to produce results. I think it's really fun. Welt is literally just like, why do I have to deal with this drunkard? And I kind of relate. I think when I'm drinking I talk a lot as well, so I can relate to Tesla. And tonight we shall pull an all-night and play till dawn. All-nighter again. Ain't that so? Of course, silly. Aw, cute. 4 weeks. A whole month. Do you understand? Ada is going to be busy for 4 weeks, so how am I going to refuse this? Oh my god, I can't speak anymore. This big vacation. Holiday time. A life of luxury and debauchery. Here I come. I may have a little too much fun. And Welt not. What are you waiting for, boy? Bring your gal some wine. Hey, you shouldn't be drinking anymore, should you? You're already in such a drunken state, and still you want to drink more? Saying such stupid things. I'd say that you've been the one having too much to drink. Wasn't that a stupid snappy response? I can definitely go for another round. Since you refuse to help, then how about I go myself? As she speaks, she sways and wobbles towards upstairs. Her goal is obvious, the plump, gaudy refrigerator at the end of the corridor on the top floor. No. Seeing that he cannot block Tesla's steps, Welt crosses his heart and rushes forward to hold her tightly. Hey, what are you doing? Let go of my hand! If you're going to keep drinking, I'm not going to let go. The young man takes a step forward and grabs her other hand. Ooh, brave! Brave Welt. Finally, after much difficulty, I've managed to secure a holiday. How can I not be permitted to enjoy my freedom? Are you really going to stop me from getting another drink, you Grinch? The drunk is obviously dissatisfied with Welt's rough interference. She flicks her hands up and down like a skipping rope, trying to break free from Welt. Well, that's not going to happen, huh? Hey! Pervert! Sexual deviant! Let go now! Why do I have to deal with this? Oh, I should have just went to sleep. You must let go! Let go, let go! Are you able to behave responsibly and look after your own body in this state? The young man does not know whether he should laugh or cry. The red-haired girl, whose hands he is holding now, is now lying on the ground, breaking out into a tantrum. She is flinging about and causing a scene, just like a toddler who has refused her toy. I'm so glad I'm not Welt. No. You won't let go, won't you? Before you give up your quest for more alcohol, no, I cannot let go. You're drunk. Go back to your room and rest. No, I'm not drunk. I'm clearly sober. Only a drunk would say that. Not drunk. Not drunk means I'm not drunk. Tesla squats angrily on the ground. Then all of a sudden, she violently leaps up as though an idea has popped into her mind. I know, I won't drink anymore. Don't lie to me. Not lying, not lying. The bundle of red hair, exuding the scent of wine, flashes an impish grin. But for a price, you'll have to play with me. Oh god. Play with me, then I won't drink. Oh, this is amazing. Really? Really? I'm not lying to you? Okay. In the face of death, the young man nods. So what are you planning to play? It's late at night, you know. What is fun to play late at night? Huh? Don't say such dangerous things. Do you think she likes Welt? Hearing you say things is practically the same as being guilty of doing it. Wait, no. Ah, so shy. So timid. Shy, timid, stop speaking nonsense. How am I shy? Yeah, hey, I'm just going to say it then. Wait, you stinky boy. If you have the courage, come and... From the shadows behind them, a dictionary comes flying out and hits the noisy woman squarely on the head. Oh, that is amazing. Tesla was so playing. It's the middle of the night and you're loud as hell. Let me get some sleep now. Right now. Say, but why is she suddenly so still? Did she pass out? Oh, I'm sorry, but this is this is my favorite chapter. I'm calling it. This last one was my favorite. I'm joking, but it was the most fun one. And I'm sorry if it sounded really weird, but I had just so much fun trying to do that, so you have to excuse me on this one. But hell yeah, we're seeing Plank. I love that. I actually just got one stigma off her, right? And I'm really happy about that. Vienna, 13th District Schicksal Headquarters. Oh, okay. Professor Plank, please refrain from doing such unconventional things ever again. A council member anonymously berates the provocative scholar via the intercom. Oh, okay, like that's interesting. So it's really all anonymous, but only she has to stay there and like a scene of everyone. I like those sceneries always in like series or anime and all of that stuff. This is a part of my teaching. I do not know what you are making a fuss about. Teaching is no excuse for violating the organization's core principles. But we are entitled to a certain degree of autonomy, aren't we? Whether it is the North American branch or Lab 42. Lab 42 is a member of the European branch. They are still required to follow procedure. Another voice in the council seems to speak in a slightly calmer tone. Oh, so, from which side do you wish to withdraw the right to self-autonomy? No, please don't take it in such an extreme way. We are only investigating procedural issues, and there is no need to turn this into a larger problem than it really is. Then I am just here to remind you that the right to autonomy and self-determination is a source of vitality for research institutions. If you insist that everything has to go through a procedure for approval, then in terms of academic and scientific vigor, it will be a disaster for this organization. She's so cool. Speaking of which, how is Edison's personal situation? Seeing that the two sides held firm to their own positions on the issue, a third speaker shifts the topic. Oh, Princess Nancy. She's quite interesting. For example, I have the exact evidence on hand that she is helping to train an army outside of this organization. What? Is she planning to rebel? No. This is a request from the US government, and both parties have signed an agreement for development of non-lethal weaponry. A matter that is difficult for us to refuse. What the hell is this? Some sort of militia for civil defense and law enforcement? Don't make such vile jokes in poor taste, Professor Plank. Ara, I'm just thinking that you're all being too serious right now. Are you not? I love that it's so calm music. I think that's really calming, and because she's totally in her element. She can handle all of that. She is a badass. Really, just like a badass. Of course, the council must be serious. Please do not introduce such unrefined foreign habits to our discussion. Entschuldigung. I am a true Bavarian, born and bred. I simply cannot help it. I say, everyone, please do not go off topic. Oh, a more dignified sounding elder speaks. The trivialities of the North American branch shall be set aside for now. Today we have more important matters to discuss. Oh, and we are not going to see us? That's mean. New York, Manhattan, the Consolidated Edison Building. So, about those important matters you wish to speak about, what is it? Schrödinger, who nearly overturns an ink bottle, glares grumpily at Nancy Edison and Elias Nukinvetan, who have been stubbornly interrupting her own research. Let me explain. The man pretends to nudge his gold-rimmed glasses. Previously, Headquarters Land Lab 42, an unpublished section of the Dead Sea Scrolls. Do you remember this? Ah. So? Did you manage to find anything from this object? One with a history of merely 3,000 to 4,000 years? Evidently, the researcher with the corkscrew ponytail is not particularly enthusiastic about these fantastical antiques from a less civilized age. First, let me confirm with you one thing. Is there an important constant in physics, one whose first digits begin with 6626070? I am saying without a decimal separator. 6626070. Isn't that Planck's constant? Why are you asking when you already know the answer? Is there also another constant whose first digits are 10455571? That is the reduced Planck constant that I recommend everyone should use. But what exactly is it that you want to say? They all appear in a manuscript with a history of merely 3,000 or 4,000 years. What? Wait, how is that? What? Not only that. You see, although their notation is different from ours, but this strange-looking coat of arms, when you take it apart like this and look, don't you think it looks a lot like some formula from calculus? The man gets more and more excited as he speaks, and he fishes out his own notebook and thrusts it into the face of the corkscrew ponytail. This is so interesting! I can't read it if it's this close. The doctor in physics awkwardly takes a step back. Indeed, you have a point. Right? Do you think this is really pure coincidence? So? Should you instead be asking from which remnant of the previous era did a group of Jews copy this kind of thing? Correct, that's it! Huh? Let's start with my conclusion first. I think this scroll is extremely valuable. It inadvertently records a method of energy conversion that we have never imagined before. You should first take a look at this passage I decoded. A thesis. Correct, a thesis. Although the original ancient manuscript has a completely nonsensical and sensationalized Aramaic curse as a title. If you treat it as an output, as the result of another passage of text that has been passed through a simple substitution cipher. Wait. A simple substitution cipher? Ah, sorry, I jumped ahead too quickly. Change A to D, B to E, C to F. This is the most primitive encryption method. Simple substitution, also known as a Caesar cipher. Do you understand? So? Imagine that we are the Jews who strayed into the ruins of the previous era. We see these texts which have been left behind by the previous era of humans, and we think it's some mysterious magical text. But unfortunately, our knowledge is limited and we cannot understand these holy books. In this situation, if we want to force read, then we can only make up a name for each letter and read it letter by letter? That's right. Because of this one-to-one correspondence, the Aramaic text on the scrolls just so happens to form a simple substitution of the original text. Once we understand it at this level, the rest of the deciphering work is extremely simple, just trial and error. Interesting. I really like those kind of things. It's just really interesting to see how everything works. I mean, like, how it is researched. Since the result of the description is meaningful from the perspective of probability, I gather that you managed to ascertain the original text. So, your so-called method of energy conversion that we have never imagined before, what is it exactly? It's a way to allow Honkai energy to return to ordinary energy in a controlled manner. That's interesting. That would be groundbreaking. What? That comes as no surprise. The second law of thermodynamics places a constraint on ordinary internal energy. Can it also include Honkai energy on the imaginary side? That being said, circumstances mean that there will be a very high Honkai energy density. Because of this, our degree of control will approach 0. No, of course it won't approach 0. Did you forget about the Herrscher? And that's why people want to research Herrscher, I guess. I don't know. Oh god. London, Kensington Imperial Institute. Maybe Einstein's dictionary attack was too powerful, but Tesla ends up sleeping through to the afternoon of the next day, when she rubs the dark circles around her eyes and eventually climbs downstairs. She sees the culprit and Welt sitting face to face in the foyer, taking turns playing around with some small pebbles that they've picked up from somewhere. The room has its floor heating switched on, so it is more comfortable now than before when there was a cold draft. Also permeating through the languid atmosphere is the unique fragrance of fried food. Don't talk about food, please. Please do not. I'm hungry. Please don't. Oh my. I just felt like I was looking in the mirror, that's all. No. But like for real, I think that is how I look when I've drawn all night and got up 4 hours later. I say, you guys, what's up? Omeso. Oh wait. Bao. Kala. Speak to me in a human language. The devil with the messy red hair stares intensely at the piles of small stones on the coffee table and makes a motion as if she were trying to scatter them. Careful, careful now. Moped hurriedly reaches out to protect the piles of stones. We are studying the numerous variants of this board game called Mancala. Don't tell me you've been doing this retarded crap for the whole morning? Of the 60 mainstream variants, 4 have already been studied. Oh my god, that's... Okay, I would not have the patience. Nope. We are now preparing to try out the 5th. Is it really that interesting? Pure innocent man. Needs some less stimulating entertainment. Alright. Moped continues to explain in a vague circumlocutory manner. Must I remind you, last night you were chasing after this pure-hearted man in a booze-fueled frenzy. Gah. The bewildered red demon suddenly seems to remember something. Yeah. Instantly, her face turns red and she attempts to crawl under the sofa like a cat. Cute. Welt awkwardly shakes his head. As you can see, this person is rather pure and innocent. Who the hell are you talking about? Tesla is confused by Einstein's twinkling eyes and shifty, vague expression. Is she referring to Welt or is she referring to Tesla herself? Today's Tesla is especially cute. Enough! Like, their interactions are really amazing. Well, where exactly are we going? Riding a taxi to Hampstead help. Welt finally gets the chance to ask the red-haired tyrant. Huh? Oh right, when I was making that phone call for our taxi, you were still playing that retarded stone game. Cemetery. We're going to Highgate Cemetery. Cemetery? How many more times? Why are you kicking up such a fuss? It's not like we're going to bury you there. Anyway, back to the point. That large bag you threw into the back of the trunk. Don't you know what's actually in it? Well, no matter how hard I try, I can't will myself to receive superpowers like X-ray vision, okay? Do you have rainy deaths? Couldn't you smell the cat food? Oh? Yeah, talking about cats, my cat is making a ruckus again. Oh, that, I've never raised a cat. Then I hope you won't be sniffing about, drool trailing from your mouth, okay? You're treating me just like a cat. Yeah, that's about right. There's virtually no difference. There's a huge difference, okay? Only Welt would argue and complain so seriously. You don't say. But why are we feeding cats at the cemetery? This drive seems rather long. I guess that's true, but I've gotten used to it. After all, in the first half of the year, I was forced to do volunteer work there for 5 months. Forced to volunteer? At a cemetery? How did the situation come to that? The situation was a non-situation. If a court orders you to be a volunteer, would you still refuse to go? Court. I guess you must have broken some law relating to the cemetery. Besides, don't all members of our organization have judicial immunity? Does the treaty signed between our organization and the government include drunk driving? Well, that's a no-go. Don't do that. Huh? Drink driving? Haven't you wondered now that the Finn has left why we could only take the underground or hire a taxi? If it wasn't for that blasted Scotland Yard being so insistent on revoking my driver's license. This all sounds like it's your own fault. How is it my fault? Clearly it's the established rules and standards that are too baffling. In fact, I didn't even feel anything, so to speak. Well, by the time it gets to that point, that the feeling is obvious even to you, wouldn't it already be a major disaster? Anyway, during the weekends of the first half of the year, I spent my time in the graveyard. But actually it was pretty fun. This place called Highgate. Perhaps it's more appropriate to call it a point of historical interest rather than a cemetery. Historical interest? You'll understand when you get there. Miss Elizabeth Jackson, who died in May 1839, must not have expected that in the decades following her death, the place where she now rests would gradually evolve into what we see today. A place where a variety of tomb styles have converged to create a place of attraction all of its own. It's really pretty. A unique cemetery where surrounding villas and real estate continue to fetch high prices. Ah! Naturally, in such a venue, much like a public park or garden, there are bound to be cats. Ah, it's Pandu! Pandu? Is that the cat's name? Mm-hmm. As it can be regarded as a perfect specimen of an exiled cat. Don't you think such a name is very fitting? I have absolutely no idea what you're on about. No problem, I just borrowed the name of a boring character from a boring story. Oh, that's right! Pass me half of the cat food in the back. Half? Can it eat that much on its own? What the hell are you on about? It's a large garden and now it's that time of day again. So won't it be reasonable for us to split up and work separately? Oh, okay. Oh, I love that she likes cats. I like her even more now. Because I love cats. Work separately? Here? Is he scared? As such a big boy, you sure have a lot of courage. Here, a map for you. I definitely want to stay on the eastern side, so the entire western side is entrusted to you. Highgate Cemetery. Unlike Westminster Abbey, houses countless renowned personages of the Empire. But of all the names, two names in particular, Michael Faraday and Karl Marx, give the lonesome Welt an inexplicable sense of familiarity and peace of mind. So to speak, the so-called celebrity effect is really an omnipresent and universal phenomenon that transcends death itself. Fortunately, thanks to this, the young man named Welt can finally experience and appreciate the unique charm of this cemetery. I don't know why cemetery is such a difficult word to say again. I have the weirdest words that I cannot say multiple times in a row. From simple crude tombs that are so small as to be barely perceptible, to grandiose, luxurious palatial mausoleums that look like they come straight from Angkor Wat, all of these have decayed into prehistoric ruins under the weathering and erosion of lichen moss and acid rain. A stone-carved piano, its keys long since blurred together, a statue with broken arms, covered from head to toe with clambering vines, A granite lion with a mane covered completely by bird guano. Although admittedly it all seems rather eerie and creepy. It can also be seen as yet another natural history museum, a dazzling display of the world's living and non-living. Actually, it could be really, really pretty. Like, what we see in the picture, it's really pretty. Who are you? Okay. Like, my head immediately went like, green eyes, that's Otto, and blonde as well, that's Otto. Then I'm like, wait, no. Well. Ah. When the young man directs his eyes back to the trail in front of him, he suddenly notices that there is a somewhat familiar looking female figure standing in the corner ahead. Oh, how serendipitous. When did we... It was last month at the airport, wasn't it? It is the agent! One of the agents, right? Yes! I knew she was not just like an NPC. I mean, maybe she still is, but she's so pretty. She's not an NPC, that's just obvious. Ah! That was... No need to worry. My name is Rihanna Brigantia. Brigantia? Brigantia? Although I am a Valkyrie directly under the command of headquarters, today I'm just like you, an ordinary person who has come to visit and sweep the graves. Not here to sweep graves. Huh? I'm really only here to help people feed the cats. That's cute though. So that's the reason. You must have really been working hard. That's not exactly true. It must really be fate for us to meet here. Perhaps we should feed these little furry children together. I like her, but I also feel like she's dangerous, but I like her. Can we really? Of course we can. Anyway, today I'm off duty. Felt is happy. That's perfect. In that case, will you also permit me to join you in paying respects to the dead? Hmm? Oh, of course. The child, Martha, she's a good conversationalist, and she won't despise your company. Oh. I wish wherever you are, may there be no ominous darkness, nor glaring brightness. I wish wherever you are, may there be no raucous noise, nor frightful silence. Wherever you are, may it be a warm and genial paradise on the other side. Amen. Martha Lily Jacobs, a child born in Holloway Street. Lily was her nickname because she liked calla lilies. She was the only Valkyrie who died from the Honkai eruption in Berlin, but was not buried in the Invalidenfriedhof cemetery. Is there a Friedhof? Is there a cemetery called like that? I've never heard of that one. But Berlin? Wasn't that? Mm-hmm. It was the incident where you were born. You don't need to feel so too guilty. Sacrifice is an inevitability on the battlefield. Generally speaking, the organization chooses a cemetery nearby. In the event of death, they will bury everyone there, so that one can rest with their comrades in arms. Huh? So Marta's situation was... In the process of destroying the Emperor-class Honkai beasts, the Night Moth team she led was almost completely annihilated. Night Moth, huh? This child, as the sole survivor, she must have borne an unimaginably heavy burden. Oh! Oh! Oh my god. Please tell me please tell me what I'm thinking is not. Although we had immediately arranged for her to leave the front and receive treatment, in the end... Oh god. New Year's Day of this year was the second anniversary of the incident. She was at her home, where she hanged herself. No, I wish that would not... it makes sense, because fighting Honkai beasts or fighting an eruption probably is like a war. And wars are not so good for the psyche, right? And Yeah, she must have been really, really traumatized. Even more when she survived and others died. Oh god. Okay, yeah. Wait, be a little bit more, I don't know. Because of her suicide in a non-combat situation, according to military protocol, we could not bury her together with her compatriots or with those who have yet to die in the one place. Isn't that too cruel? There is no alternative. That is the way of the military. The so-called army is a machine that cannot tolerate the failure of anyone's crew. Because of this, its Hall of Heroes, its Valhalla, will only accept those who fulfill their responsibilities to their final breath. It is cruel, but we have no better solution. Don't get me wrong. To anyone else, her misfortune was a complete tragedy. A tragedy that should have never been borne by her alone. It's just that, for the warrior, for the soldier, the professional code of honor is something that must come before any one individual. Yes, it is tragic for the individual. But this is also a situation where there is no alternative but to fight with fire, fight fire with fire, poison with poison. Because only in this way we can organize some of the bravest among us, to let them work in unison like a machine on a rapidly changing battlefield, to confront and then to defeat some of the cruelest things in the world. Oh, interesting. I like that we get different perspectives. That's really, really cool. And gosh, this is really terrible. Like, just everyone has such a cruel fate, like, in store. The sky slowly fills with the stars and the food bag slowly empties. Along the way, the cats appear to be much more gratified. However, after hearing the story of the Valkyrie Martha, Welt felt upset and needed to vent. This is the last feeding point. I'm sorry. Martha's incident. This is not a sadness you need to bear. But, Miss Rihanna, you must also be upset, right? Isn't there a saying that goes, a joy shared is a joy doubled, a sorrow shared is a sorrow halved? Right. Wasn't that a little bit desperate of me? Well, I guess it wasn't good for me to be joking like that. Shush! No sooner does she say this than Rihanna covers Vel's mouth with her hand and violently pushes him into the bushes. In a direction he had not noticed before, a mysterious floating object appears out of nowhere in the night air. What is that? It's cute, but what is it? Oh. Interesting. What is that? Can that not be that's something? What do you mean by it? Can that not be that something? Speak precisely. That must be one of those ghosts? Don't say such unlucky words. The ghosts that truly exist in this world are way more troublesome than those in urban legends. Huh? Are there really ghosts? It's just a metaphor. Also, stop yelling at me. On the battlefield, it could mean death. It's cute! What is it? It's way too cute! Oh my god! I'm not trying to read that. That's just like, woo! Woo! Okay, are they talking? Is that a thing? It's hovering on spot. In fact, it's also reciting something? That fluttering object. Don't you think it looks too much like a bedsheet? Bedsheet? But it has no legs. Who knows? I guess it's someone's prank with a balloon. And also, those words it's saying, I feel... Is that something I've heard of before? Somewhere... Rihanna picks up a stone from the grass. She's not joking around, I love her. She's cool. The stone hits the ghost and makes a crisp sound, as if it had struck hard rock before rolling back onto the grass. Okay, it's a robot. That strange clanging sound, what the hell is going on? How would I know? Oops, I've been discovered! Oh, it's cute! Oh my god, the face! What a cute ghost! The ghost suddenly blows a stream of air from beneath it and flees from the scene at rapid speed. Wait, what's going on now? Rihanna pulls out a miniature walkie-talkie device. V-23, request emergency support. I've encountered an unidentified flying object. Please send weapons to my location immediately, in accordance with Plan 8. Mobile units, please stand by. Oh, she is so cool! Okay, I'm crushing, again. I repeat, I have encountered an unidentified flying object. Please send weapons to my locations immediately, in accordance with Plan 8. Mobile units, please stand by. She's so cool. What's that? What's that? What? have I not, like, what's happening here? At the junction separating the east and west cemeteries, Tesla, whose expression is inexplicably tense, it's communicating with a young boy. Tesla, danger! Make way, redhead. Redhead? Who's the redhead? Hey, what's going on? Make way if you want to live. Ah! Oh my god. She is so pretty. Oh my god. Plan 8 was a perfect success. The UFO has been disintegrated. She is so pretty and so strong. And I love her. I will bring back Abyss Flower myself. Why does she have Abyss Flower? That's one of the divine keys, right? Wait, who has Abyss Flower now? Oh, I don't know. I don't remember. Damn it. I will bring back Abyss Flower myself, in accordance with the plan. Over and out. Oh god, it was probably their robot. The two of you, are you okay? Have you been hurt? Oh god. Have you been hurt, my arse? That was our latest floating robot! Repay me! Oh well, that's perfect. I love this. Well, that were two interesting chapters, right? Okay. So we not only got to see a totally drunk Tesla, but we also met Rianne, who I have a huge crush on already. God damn it. Why do they design those characters in that way? Because how can I not crush on every single one? Especially on such girl boss characters, you know? Really like, god damn it. Well, I really liked it. We were not too much going forward with the whole Ada situation, but we got a little bit of Schrödinger and Finn's perspective, and they are definitely onto something. I mean, they have discovered something, but I'm not sure if it's good that they discovered it. And I mean, I am a little scared of Nancy, so it's a little scary that Nancy is there with them and she was the one bringing up Herrscher. So that's that. And also the Abyss Flower. Actually, I'm really thankful for a comment who summarized which divine keys I have already seen, like so far, because I don't think I would have remembered the name Abyss Flower otherwise. So that's that, and this is really getting interested. Like, even when I think, oh, it's just a little bit more slice of life, no, it's getting interesting again. Like, even with just the little story that Rianne told us, right? But still, it's such, I don't know how they do it, but it's so well balanced, like, between slice of life and just like, oh, here we sprinkle a little bit of spicy story infos. I love that a lot. Guys, I hope you did enjoy as well. And as always, if you did enjoy, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. It would really make my day and I would be really happy to see you guys next time.